Okay, I am recording and we'll get started. So something I have started doing is I created my own Spotify playlist, and it's just songs that pump me up or inspire me or remind me of the things that I want to be reminded of. And honestly, it's like one of the first things I do in the morning, and it's something that I listen to before I send out messages and do IPAs later in the afternoon. And then it is obviously something I'm now listening to before I do calls, just to be aligned, just to have that good energy, because everything I'm learning now, like I heard everything is energy. Jenny Greer says that all the time if you have ever done a training with her. But I'm now hearing it from so many sources that it's finally sinking in, and that makes a difference. And that comes across when you're doing your messages. So tonight I didn't make slides. I know everyone's like sad about that, right? But I do have a couple of reminders. The win-win is still going on. So that is in January. Anybody who joins and then hits executive by February, it's that extra $125, right? And then right now, if you have a Velocity ticket, which everybody, I believe everybody in here does, and I'll talk about that for a minute, in just a minute. Let me write that down so I don't forget. Oh, I have it written down. Look at me go. So the win-win for Velocity is insane if somebody joins this week, which we've had a couple of people join this week, the team this week, and we can get them to executive. The immediate sponsor gets 500, and then that person gets 500. So instead of 750 for hitting executive, they get 1250, which is just amazing. And you know, it can be done. I'm sure people will do it. So we can borrow belief, even if we didn't do that ourselves. If you're watching sidelines and stuff like that, momentum is here. If you've ever looked at the trajectory of a ground floor company, and if you've never talked to personally or heard Mr. Mark Wilson talk about this, that man is not going to leave this earth until he makes Q Sciences a household name and a several billion-dollar company. That's just his goal, his drive. And we're all along for the ride as long as we want to be. So with that being said, when you start getting these big leaders come in, like y'all, I had my Young Living girl message me and be like, Katie Williams, who by the way has like 70,000 followers and is at the top of Young Living, she's like, Katie Williams just went to your company. I had never even heard of your company until you messaged me about it. And so people from other companies are starting to see these leaders come, and that's when the momentum like really starts and takes off. And so we're all in a really good place. January is a really good month to sow seeds. I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well. No, we need to snooze. I don't want to restart now. So one of the action steps, I'll just talk about it now. The only time that Mario Filipponi tries to raise the dead, meaning goes back through all the people that have joined you at some point in this journey and are inactive, is now, is 30 days-ish until a convention. And it's as simple as this, and I'll put this in the team page, as simple as, hey, 2020 did a number on us, didn't it? It almost got me, but I have not only stuck with Q, but I have been working Q actively. If it's something you want to take another look at, I would be happy to hop on a phone call with you for 5 minutes, because what I have heard is coming next month from convention, as far as adding more money to the comp plan, fixing some shipping issues for auto shipment people, and adding like this crazy new hemp line. You guys, did you hear Jake Spencer talk about Kimball create some sort of greens? People in the fitness and health and wellness industry go crazy for greens like that. Like everyone's always looking for something, and you know if it's from Q, it's gonna be top notch. So with all the research behind it and all the clean stuff and all of that. So I would make 1 or 2 or 3 of your days, depending on how many people you've signed up. B, just going through your inactives. You can see them all in your visual tree in your back office, and just reaching out and just seeing like, hey, this, you're still, like, and by inactive, I mean they haven't resigned. they're still in your tree, they haven't resigned, but they're just not working. So if they're just not working, they don't know what they don't know. They haven't been plugged in like we have, right? So we can just tell them and make the offer just like we do for anybody else. I want to talk about those two things, the win-win, the velocity reminders, and raising the dead. And then also just a huge shout out to Dana and Christine and Tara, which I don't even think any of them are on here, but it's a recording, so they'll see it. They are killing it with curiosity posts, and I'm going to talk about that because I just sort of wanted to screen share and make sure that you guys understood about the team pages when people are enrolling, because I am full on, like, my baby bags are packed, y'all. Like, the car seat's going in the van. Like, I am, like, everyone at my baby shower laughed at me because they were like, you've been ready, haven't you? Like, your nursery. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm getting this part of it ready, too, because I want to make sure that everybody is taken care of. And so, first of all, Tara and Fran have the movement. So they have, let's see, let me move this guy over. If I scroll a little bit, they have this welcome video. So when you enroll anybody, so Dana, when you watch this, make sure Heather's on this, and Lori, you can tag Rosa on this one too. This is like a welcome video. And just explain to them, like, this is our huge team. We have two of the top earners that have taught me and you and whoever you want to edify everything we know, right? So use that. That's at the top under announcements. So when somebody joins, just always tell them, make sure you check out the announcements, because that's always the most important stuff. And then this is the team code for the app that has stuff just for our team, right? And then other than that, just have them peruse these top titles, okay? The most important one would be units. So this is never to take away from your daily IPAs, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is just, guys, when I started, I did my reach outs and invitations and IPAs, but then I also was, while I was doing laundry, doing dishes, whatever, I was clicking on each of the units. And then if you're like a school nerd like me, you can click done on all the units and say that you were done. So all these lives that have been done by Tara and Fran, all these Dr. Q frequently asked questions about the products, like just listening to that and hearing that once, you can grab one nugget from a 10-minute video and like make that into a post that attracts a whole new crop of people who need that, right? Important training videos, reaching out in the simple systems. So like the laundry system is on here. And then a launch call example. If you don't really launch properly for whatever reason, then go launch yourself. Or if you need to launch someone and your mentor is, you know, in the hospital having a baby, then watch the launch call example and you can launch them. So then the basics are here too. I'm just saying, if you've never gone through the units in the movement, now is probably a good time. And then we've been doing these lives on events. I did one last week, and how honestly the January event is the whole reason I became a 6-figure earner last year. So if you haven't signed up for your Velocity ticket, go ahead and do that. Those people will have access to all of the incentives that the company is going to roll out, because we still have a month. They're still going to do more incentives. So at least that's what I heard. All right, let me go. So that is the main team page that you can plug people into and tag people in and utilize. And then I created this, let me go back. Oh, yeah, I created 2 pages, 2 landing pages for our team. So this is the, sorry guys. Where am I? Where am I? Let me go back to home. Start from the beginning. Where's my scrolly thing? I think my, oh, here it is. All right, so I do have this Health Goal Getters and Health Goal Getters. Your source for holistic tips is where you can plug customers into. So I provide value in there all the time, any sales, any incentives. So that's just a good place that if somebody purchases from you, be like, hey, I'm going to invite you to this page. It's great for information because guess what? If they love the hemp, they might love the QMax, and you don't have to do like a reach out to them and be like, hey, since you love the hemp, you might love the QMax. I might post about the QMax, and you could tag them in it if they're in the group and be like, hey, I thought of you. This might be something you want to look at. And then, you know, that is duplication, that is replication, where you don't have to be just always doing reach outs. So it's a really good catch-all for your customers. And we're trying to grow that group too, so they can see, and I will once in a while peek about the business in there too, to see if we can convert people from customers to ambassadors. But our team page is the same health goal getters, but it's got, I mean, on my phone, it looks like hemp leaves. This, I don't even know what this looks like on here. But it's revenue sharing with quintessential partners. So that's how you know that's the business page. And again, anybody who joins you, whether they, and I did this welcome video, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it so you know what you're tagging your new people in. But if they just want a couple $100 so they can go buy the organic section of groceries that they know is best for them, then this is a page for them. If they want, you know, $1,000 to $2,000 so they can go shopping or pay off their mortgage without having to check their bank account, then yeah. And then if they want to be like a big baller, then this is, we know how to make six-figure earners here too. So that's what the welcome says. It introduces them to me as the creator of the page. So then that is under announcements, as well as, and this is sort of really what I wanted to show you, as the onboarding album. So I don't have units, I don't have homework, that's in the other page, but I do have albums. And so if you go to the onboarding album, I'm sorry if I'm giving you like this, I was gonna say a seizure, but I didn't want to be like insensitive to people with seizures, so I don't know what I'm trying to say, sorry. Okay, so here are the onboarding steps. I can't see y'all and it's driving me. So welcome to Q Sciences. So this is where you just tag people. And if you tag them, you can keep track of them here too and what step they're on. That way it's not just another message. So post your I did a thing launch post and purchase your velocity ticket is on there now. Because if anybody is joining now, there is absolutely zero reason they should not be like $25 to see everything and get all the incentives, right? So post your I did a thing launch post, and they're like, okay, what is that? Well, I have all the photos down here that have to do with onboarding. So if you scroll a little bit, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so used to a phone. I'm like, my 90s self would be so mad at my 2021 self. All right, I did a thing. I'm so nervous and excited. I can't wait to tell you more. Be on my Zoom tonight at 8. So you can post that on a Tuesday or a Thursday with 9 o'clock as the time, because we always have a testimonial in Discovering Q. I'm going to watch party it to my customer group. And then we always have a Fran or a Tara informational on Thursday nights at 9 Eastern time. So if you just want to put, if you have new people and you can't do a Fab 5 or an informational call for them, and your sponsor can't, then plug them in, have them plug anybody who responds to this launch post into the Tuesday or Thursday call. I probably just made that way more confusing than it needs to be. But if they sign up on a Monday, make them post this Tuesday morning, and then any yeses they get, you will help them message and be like, that's awesome, I'm going to invite you to a group, make sure you accept it, and then they tag them in the Discovering Quintessential Life, okay? Or if you are really hands-on and you want this full time and you have time, you can do the Zoom. You can say, hey, Wednesday, if you do this post in the morning, I'll do a Zoom for you that night at 8. And I'll just tell people, like, this is who the company is, and I'll sort of do a Q&A why you joined and prep them a little bit so they can vision cast. And that is what's going to help people get into action, because the quicker we get people into action, the quicker they get a paycheck, the more momentum they get. So that is the first step. And I got that from My favorite, Jerry's always on there with me. Network Marketing Rehab on Clubhouse. It's 10 a.m. If you still don't have a Clubhouse invite and you're on this call, you've got to get on my list because I get them quite frequently. I think I get 3 a week. There's someone in here might get them, okay? So then of course, after they do that, after they do the big scary thing, which they will do because they're excited, they just signed up, they want to be led, tell them to do the post, and then make sure that they have a place to put all those people that reach out and say, yeah, I want to know. I'll be on a Zoom. Then they download the app. Then they get added to the Facebook groups, including, they're already in this one. It's like the first thing you do when they sign up, or else they can't see the onboarding. So you add them to the movement, you add them to Q Scientist News, and you add them to Discovery and Quintessential Life. So they can start, they don't have to wait for their products. They just have to go watch some of the testimonials on Discovery and Quintessential Life and build belief. Okay, and then it's print your launch document. You can do the launch with them. You can do the launch with them, both of y'all watching this video. I think it's Tara. Or you can just send it to them. It just depends on how you're wanting to run your business. A lot of people will say you have to do it this way. You don't. You got to do what you got to do to like run your business how you want to run your business. And then I made this cap so everybody gets paid. The DocuSign, make sure they go through the welcome kit. Meet your VP of sales. I need to change that to advisory council, but it's Tara, and she's really in there about vision. And then you will schedule a goal setting. If you are brand new as a sponsor, then your mentor will also be there and really dig in. And I have the slides for the goal setting after they completed the launch call. So if anybody's confused about that process, I will still be answering emails in February, and even after I have the baby. I might not be as active doing like team trainings like this and stuff, but I will always be there to sort of help you navigate, answer your questions. And then step 6 is kind of like a like get into action. So you get into action with your first post, and then you get into action with income producing activities and power half hour. And then of course I have stuff here about those. So here's an income producing activities worksheet right here. The first thing is sharing Q with 3 new people. So when you first join, you should be sharing Q. A really quick voice message, Brittany Hitch's verbiage is in here as well. If you've been here 2 years like I have, or almost 2 years, or even a year, and you've already sort of hit your warm market with that, then your sharing will be a little bit different. Your sharing will be more like just making connections with people. And as you're going back and forth in a conversation, when they bring up a pain point, then I have some verbiage for you in here. But either way, sharing Q with 3 new people, if you've just gotten started, means one thing. And if you're in it like I am and still like turning cold people to warm people to hot, and building relationships, it looks different. Following up with potentials, you just have to stay organized for that. Adding friends on Facebook, you know, I have a system for that I've learned that's in here. So all of the stuff you might need is in here. But setting up a Fab 5, we still have the same verbiage. Prospecting message, this is just a belief check here. You know, month 1 is just you, month 2 it's you and a friend, and you can see month 10 all of a sudden you're gold if it's just you and every single person is inviting one more person into the business who says yes. These were notes that Tracy made for us from Jake Spencer, so I just wanted to add that to launching. This is another power hour tracker you can use if you're someone who is like, I'm gonna do 3 power hours a week. Print out 3 sheets on Sunday and then just schedule it. That's all it is. This is the one I'm using, the daily business building. I like it because it has a lot of emphasis on personal growth. The launch post I talked about, I think onboarding, instead of just sending them and tagging them in all the steps, is a lot more effective if you can qualify the time, being like, okay, step 1 literally takes 10 minutes. Let's do that and set up the Zoom. And then we will meet tomorrow to do step 2 together, and that sort of thing. If you can walk them through step by step, they tend to, you know, just start better. It just depends on your schedule, okay? So that is onboarding that I wanted to show you. But then there's other albums. Let me go back. Lorena, I think, is going to do a live in here. She went to Silver Summit, so check out anything that people post on the timeline. Let me see what else I can get to. Where are my albums? Why are they not up here? Because on my phone, they're up here. Sorry, guys. I don't know why they're not up here, but on my phone, they're up here. So there's a whole album called Social Media, which everything I've learned from Clubhouse for the past 2 weeks is on there, everything. There's scripts and sample messages. So just sort of explore. And I just wanted you guys to come away with tonight with these resources are here. So if you haven't been utilizing them, please take some time. And then just remember that, like, ignorance on fire, just connection with people, and then eventually that can lead to conversion. When you hear a pain point about health or about finances, then you can validate that, saying what I am hearing is you might need to take a look at the opportunity. You might need to take a look at our hemp line. You might need to take a look at these sprays I use. Are you open to that? Eventually you get there in a conversation if they have a pain point. If their pain point is something Q doesn't have, you know, I'm about to post something from Rory Vaden about just servant leadership. You know, I think I said this on another call. Someone just needed a connection to someone who posts for a real estate company. She didn't need anything from Q. So I helped her get that connection. But those are the people that when you message them, when you're doing your IPAs, and you're like, hey, I know you're not interested, but I'm really working and looking for referrals right now. Any good business person builds a business referrals. So is there anybody you know who is probably looking to work from home? Or is there anyone you know that could really benefit from like stress relief or sleep tools or something like that? So asking for referrals is another thing you could do when you've been in the business for a little bit and you've talked to people and they aren't all about watching something or joining the business or taking our tools. So anyway, tonight was just about that. I wanted to leave it with, let me get out of this. I'm doing this money self-love, I think is what it's called. So I joined this thing called the Self-Worth Society. Anybody can join it. Michelle Dunk is just a money coach. She's not a financial advisor. She's just a money coach. She's very spiritual, but she says whatever you believe in, God or universe. And she has helped me work through a lot of money blocks, which I feel like I work on them all the time. But the biggest takeaway I've had from her, and I wanted to tell you what I did today as inspiration, is so many times we think about money as bad. We think about it as equating to greed, or at least I did. And she says, if you start considering money your friend or your spouse or your love interest, like if you think of money as something you care about, does that change how you talk about money? Because if it's energetic, if everything is energy, you gotta follow me here. If everything is energy, the energy you're putting out is a lot of us are actually keeping money away because of the way we think about it. Let me give you an example. I did social media posting for a friend who is a realtor. And I got too busy. I got really sick during my pregnancy and I wasn't posting as much. And he was like, hey, we're going to go a different direction. I'm going to hire someone that does this full time. And it was a relief to me. I was like, cool, because I was a little overwhelmed. I'm like trying to run my business and you know, like I love Facebook, but anyway, so I didn't even ask him for the money he owed me because I was just like, this is kind of a gift to get out of this. I didn't want to be the one to quit, but I didn't even ask him for the money. And then she challenged me yesterday and said, do you have any money that people owe you that you haven't asked for? Because if you haven't asked for it, you know what you're telling money is, I don't need you. I don't need you. So if you're telling money that, it doesn't matter how many IPAs you do. If you're telling money that it's bad to have you. Like, so if you think about it like that, it totally switched my perspective. So money's my girl now. Like, money and I are like this. When I come across money, I'm like, you're amazing, thank you. And it sounds corny, but it's a whole different mindset, because we can work, and so many of us are exhausted. We're doing all the things, aren't we? But it might just come back to, how are we thinking and talking about money? And if we start thinking about it as inviting it in, like we try to invite in abundance, then maybe that will change some things. And so, guys, yesterday my son Luke, he found a penny in the playground, and he pulled it out of his pocket, and he was like playing with it. And I'm like, no, do not lose the penny. That's my friend. Like, chasing around this penny across the kitchen. Everybody thinks it's crazy. But I'm just totally like open to trying these sorts of things. And I found a penny and I put it in this little piggy bank. I'm like, thank you, money. So thanking money, when you use your credit card, like in your head, just being like, thank you so much for like going through and having the funds. And the ladies who are doing this with me, it's crazy the things that are happening to them. We got a claims check when we never even filed a claim. I didn't even file a claim. I just got a check in the mail for like $300. So things like that are happening to people all the time in this group. And that was the biggest tip, is if you can make money your side piece, and you're really excited about having it, and really going through like, how do you feel about money, then it might change some things. Or when you're doing these actions, it's more aligned, and you see your bank account. And if that makes you feel fuzzy, like, I'm not doing this with my money, then there's a lot of money limiting beliefs about there, because you wouldn't have that desire for the money unless it was something for the positive. I truly believe that. So anyway, I wanted to keep this under 30 minutes, which is always hard for me, and I did it. So congrats to me. And if everyone will hop off, I am going to stay on because I have a little powwow to do with Maria. So thank you guys so much for hopping on. If you have any questions about this. Oh, I did want to tell you, this is the last Tuesday thing I'm doing. I'm going to still pop on for lives. A couple of leaders, probably some of you guys, will be popping on for lives. We are going to feed into Katie Abart's team trainings. Those are 8:15 on Tuesdays. So I'll get the info from her. It's just going to make it where, as I'm preparing for baby, and then after I have baby, everybody still has this connection, this culture, this community, and any like reminders and incentives that the company has going on, so we don't lose touch. So I wanted to make sure everybody heard that too. So